It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego political, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. This one not the off in mind, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Political, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. This one not they off in mind, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary political, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun. Live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube, gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Máyégún máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. I've got some things to share with you tonight. Share the broadcast.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Máyégún diary, àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Who is looking for Kolu?
Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Kolu is in Lafia right now.
Lórí Facebook. Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
I will give you 1 million. I mean, I will create 1 million jobs in 2 years. Kolu. APC should be so grateful. Nigerians should be so thankful because Tinubu agreed to be APC, Egbekegbe's candidates. Buhari.
So this change of currency, I think there will be people a lot of money. But time has been given from October to December, 3 months is enough, whatever money you have, to get it changed through a legal system. So I don't know why people are complaining about it.
So despite the complaint, there's no going back on the policy?
No, there's no going back. There's no going back. My aim is to make sure that Nigerians believe that we respect them as an administration. So Nigerians should vote for whoever they like from whichever party. Nobody will be allowed to mobilize resources and thugs to intimidate people in any constituency. That's what I want to go down into Nigerian history for as a leader.
You are the chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council of your party. What are the chances of your party winning the elections?
What are the chances of my party not winning the election? We are going to win this election. Tinubu, the presidential candidate, is a very well-known politician in the country. He was a 2 times governor in his state, Lagos. Resource-wise, the most resourceful state and the most visited state. So I think the party was lucky to get him accept, to be its candidate.
So how healthy is my president?
Thank you very much. And then as you are joining us, one thing you have to do first, right? Like the broadcast, share it. If this is your first time, maybe you should subscribe as well, but that's up to you, but we'll get to that part. So read the caption of the broadcast, read the description as well, and possibly make your own contribution there. There will be a time that I'm going to open the line, just like last night. And again, I'm still here with my 75 pounds wine voucher for whoever comes through to get that later tonight. I'm going to start with the increasing insecurity or the increasing cases of kidnappings in southwest Nigeria. 4 days ago, right, there was this report. I'm going to read that part. I'm going to read it to you in part, right? So they said that this reporter, 2 recent kidnapping incidents on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway and in Ekiti State underline the growing insecurity in southwest Nigeria. At the Ibadan, Oyo State end of the expressway, suspected Fulani bandits attacked travelers on October 27th, abducting 5 persons and killing several others, which I believe some of you probably didn't even know. Right. 2 days after, 7 bandits struck in Irele, Ekiti, also abducting 4 travelers. These attacks denote the failure of the region's state governors to join forces effectively and arrest the dangerous drift into anarchy. Unless they act now and decisively, the region could end up like parts of the north where life has become brutish and travel, farming, and commerce hazardous. Strikingly, the 2 attacks occurred in daylight. The one in Irele Ekiti at 11 a.m. The Ibadan incident at between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. according to the police. Now, this is audacious, proving that the criminals can operate at will. Now, there are victims' accounts too. Yeah. One of them says, victims in the attacks restated how the kidnappings callously murdered those whose families were unable to pay ransom. One victim, Adigun Agbaje, a former deputy vice chancellor of the University of Ibadan, said, I was released by my kidnappers after spending 2 nights in the thick forests of Ogun and Oyo states. My mind goes to the 5 others who are still left with the kidnappers. 2 young ladies, 2 young men, and a middle-aged person. I was shot in the head during the abduction. Another victim, Aminat Taiwo, she is 22, said, those kidnappers were more than 30. They covered their faces. They were putting on army and police uniforms. At first, we thought they just wanted to rob us. But to our greatest surprise, after stripping us of everything we had, they asked us to start moving inside the deep forest. We walked for more than 2 hours in the forest. Now, that's another eyewitness account in Yoruba land. Just yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, another thing happened. Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Now, in this particular one, they were unable to kidnap the travelers. The terrorists, right, stopped all the travelers, all the moving vehicles on Lagos Ibadan Expressway at that Ishagam interchange exactly, and they started shooting at them, shooting at those, everything moving. Some people sustained gunshots wounds, and but nobody was kidnapped because police were able to come in, and there was exchange of fire and the rest, and they left. Not a single terrorist was arrested or shot, as we know. Now, from that, according to that report, yeah, they said, hang on, right, said the passengers and the drivers, right, from what they learned, they said gunmen stormed the road from a bush before the Shagam interchange and started shooting at the bus. The passengers and the driver were said to have scampered for safety as some hid under the bus. However, the intervention of policemen in the area foiled the attack. Now, a video taken after the incident and obtained by this reporter showed people writhing in pain on the ground. I have the video, but some of them are so bloody, I can't really share them. We probably will never have chance of coming back to this video again. It will be taken down because of the graphic nature of that clips, right? Some of you must have seen them. And as usual, you probably just feel like, well, I mean, you are not a victim yet. So, thank God. Abi, you move on. Anyway, from that report, right, a man who survived the bullet wound, said, I thought I was dead, in quote, having been shot by them. They faced our vehicle, shooting at us. We all lay down except the driver, who was the target. They thought we were all dead and retreated into the bush. The joint patrol team of police officers from Ogun and Oyo State arrived at the scene later, after they have left, okay? Well, another person said, well, that's a police report, which I don't believe. I'm sorry. I don't trust them. You remember that early this year, when we were covering the increasing Fulani terrorists in Yoruba land, especially, right, the escalated terrorism, which are so underreported, though. And I've told you many times that one of the things that as Yorubas, we should hold against all the political office holders in Yoruba land, their godfathers, their political parties, because it was like a consensus. People are dying. People are being stripped of their life savings. People are selling their properties to pay ransom in Yoruba land. And because the politicians believe that any torchlight, any attention on it is going to deprive them the opportunity of ruling Nigeria. So to them, we can bleed silently and die silently. They are not really the priority, which sadly, most of those who follow them actually also believe this too. Like, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to go and carry guns? They have resources, right? Both human and then other resources to actually counter this, right? But you know why? They won't. It is not good for political business. One of the things that will never make any of them in any way, or should never make any of them appeal to you by using the line of Yoruba, we are Yoruba, Yoruba this or Yoruba that. They are watching. Ordinary local security, which they promised, they couldn't give. And with that, simply because giving that, we'll make we'll probably give the, show the green light that, you know what, gradually, right, or officially, Nigeria is breaking. Something that is the nightmare of the terrorist political office holder in northern Nigeria, something we have been dragged into. Now, I don't know when or how it's going to be your turn, my turn, or anybody's turn before this ends, or it will never end as long as Nigeria exists. Abi? Now, talking about what Buhari said earlier, before I came on, I saw the news where dollars, Nigerian naira to dollar, has now come down to somewhere around the 659 to between 660 naira and 690 naira. Now, I think I've said something similar on this in the past, that if you want to know how terrible and horrible APC, Egbekegbe, how they are, right? Look at what how they have played with your lives back and forth, right? In the last 7 years. For example, they promised you that the worst you should be paying for a liter of fuel in Nigeria should not be more than 40 naira. They told you that it doesn't make any sense for you to be exchanging a dollar for 200 naira back then. Now, this is what they have done. When they came in from 87 naira, right? Your petrol pump price jumped to over 180 naira. You screamed, you shouted, they brought it down to 140 something naira. Then you accepted it. The people who promised you 40 naira per barrel, 40 naira per liter, because they are going to build you refineries and you are going to stop importing fuel. Now you are used to that 140 something naira. And according to them, you could be paying over 500 naira. You should be grateful to them that they haven't given you one single refinery. They haven't fixed any of the ones they met, right? And you are paying almost double, if not triple, of what you used to pay that they rejected or you rejected. That's APC. Be grateful. Say thank you. Same thing with your, with your currency. They have nothing to back Nigerian naira. The moment they open the door for those who are stealing your crude oil, that moment, yeah, the single thing that they have been using or hiding behind to back your naira collapsed. Then the free fall started before the money changing and every other thing they are doing now, okay? But the bottom line is that from 200 naira to $1, they took you straight down to nearly 1,000 naira to $1. But it didn't just happen that way, right? In 7 years, how did it start? First, when they started their round-tripping scam and fraud that should have seen Emefiole in jail. Emefiole should be serving about, if Nigeria was to be a country, Emefiole should be serving, it should be serving his 4th year in prison, the 4th year of his life sentence of what he's done to you. You have no idea. They were doing round-tripping, giving dollars at ridiculous exchange rates to middlemen who are now selling them at exorbitant exchange rate, which now collapsed and made your market. You may not have idea what I'm saying, so don't worry yourself, okay? Because what I'm saying is that that market there, the one that determines what goes on in your country economically, it became volatile. which means anybody could, if you have the dollars, you can choose how much you want to sell it. Because the Central Bank of Nigeria could no longer give them. They ran out. They used all tricks to get this dollar back. The Nigerian crude oil was being stolen at never seen before rates. Now there's no money. So you are at the mercy of those who have this dollar. So because of that, suddenly Naira jumped from 100 and official rate in 2015 for dollars in Nigeria was 147 Naira to a dollar. Black market rates then was 196 Naira to 201 Naira to $1, right? Now, within a year or two, that jumped to over 400 Naira to a dollar, black market. And officially, Emefiole was saying that nobody should buy the dollars, which he doesn't have. Nobody should buy the dollar for that much in black market, right? Because officially, the dollar should be 270 Naira. Shele Yimadini. That was the beginning, right? Now, 500 Naira, 600 Naira to a dollar. Then it came down again, 450 Naira. They started celebrating. You see, Buhari is here to, APC is going to, are you guys really that mad? That wasn't what they promised you. And the effect of this jump is not on them, it's on you. Life became harder and harder and harder, tougher and tougher. You know the end result, Abi? Then it jumped again. So they wanted to rebrand the Naira because some people are keeping over 2.8 trillion Naira cash at home. Who are the people who are capable of keeping raw cash at home in Nigeria? The same politicians who are promising you a better Nigeria, or those who have promised you in the past that you believed your better Nigeria is in Ghana must go back in their homes. But the central bank that decided to rebrand the Naira forgot the fact that you, with your own tertiary change that they have devalued in your bank accounts, you have nothing to lose. But the real thieves who have billions they have stolen, which they didn't work for, stolen, they could do with anything. So they saturated the Nigerian Bureau de Change or Nigerian money market in the last 2 weeks, right? From about 510 Naira to a dollar, it just started going back because the thieves are bringing out their money, right? And the connections they have, you don't have that connection. Emefiole knows them. He knows the Bureau de Change that work for the politicians, that work for the state. They know them. They know what the volume of money that is going from hand to hand between the politicians and Bureau de Change. He knows them. So if they will go to anywhere apart from the bank that will bring bullion van to pack the money, it will be the Bureau de Change. Therefore, and who runs the Bureau de Change? Who runs the black market in Nigeria? The Bureau de Change. So they were able to just choose how much they will sell the dollar. And from that, nearly 1,000 Naira, and Emefiole 2 days ago, right, now put a red flag on the Bureau de Change in Nigeria, right, to make sure that they are not exchanging or making withdrawal of, making deposit of large amount of money, and at the same time exchanging or making withdrawal of a large amount of dollars from their account, which can easily be flagged. So within that 2 days, the dollars has now crashed, or let me say Naira being a dollar, down to 690 Naira. But guess what? They are celebrating it. The people that promised you 14 Naira to a dollar. So there is nothing that is backing it. Don't think they have done anything like, oh, the production has increased. Oh, that is why. No. Don't deceive. Come on. This whole thing, you call it speculation, because Naira has become so worthless indeed that once the pressure or the ask for dollar, right, which they always ask for, your politicians, right, then what happened? Your Naira, which they have to provide to get that, will go back to where it is. So I called it temporary. But at the same time, it is sad, because as that large chunk of crash that you saw, you are not going to see that in your real purchases out there. You're not going to see that. And that's the exact inflation they've brought that is not leaving you and probably helping 128 million people. to feel comfortable in the basket of poverty they have created. Nothing is done, nothing. Just speculation. So you will pay the difference. However, according to Buhari, there is no going back. And if you think they won't win, who is then going to win? I'll play this again. Then we'll go to Nasarawa. A quick one.
So this change of currency, I think there will be people a lot of money. But time has been given from October to December, 3 months. Is enough, whatever money you have, to get it changed through a legal system. So I don't know why people are complaining about it.
So despite the complaint, there's no going back on the policy?
No, there's no going back. There's no going back. My aim is to make sure that Nigerians believe that we respect them as an administration. So Nigerians should vote for whoever they like from whichever party. Nobody will be allowed to mobilize resources and thugs to intimidate people in any constituency. That's what I want to go down into Nigerian history for as a leader.
You are the chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council of your party. What are the chances of your party winning the elections?
What are the chances of my party not winning the election? We are going to win this election. Tinubu, the presidential candidate, is a very well-known politician in the country. He was a 2 times governor in his state, Lagos. Resource-wise, the most resourceful state and the most visited state. So I think the party was lucky to get him accept, to be its candidate.
So how healthy is my president?
I'm very healthy.
They have to ask him. He's speaking from London. And the man is speaking on his behalf. Tinubu is known. His right is known. But violence, they have them in abundance. Ask the people who went to Atifku's rally in Maiduguri yesterday when they got attacked. They say 74 people hospitalized because APC, Egbekegbe said, Maiduguri na APC, violence and all that. But the guy himself is in Lafia, Nasarawa today. So I'm going to take you there, okay? Meanwhile, there is also something I want to share with you, with all of us, when it comes to the insecurity situation we have in Yoruba land, the one that over time, I mean, I've never stopped talking about it. I have never, repeatedly. So I'm going to share something with you on that. I hope I remember, okay? But let's go to Nasarawa quickly, where Kolu was, with their emir. So now I'll take you back to that same Abuja near Nasarawa after this.
Your Royal Highness, long live the Emir. Long live the Emir. I say once again, long live the Emir. As the Royal Father, this is my first time in this palace. I know our Royal Father for several years now. a man of courage, a former judge who believes in commitment to humanity, justice, and fairness. The animal of great character, who will always tell the truth to power. But they are now in power. I don't know how much to tolerate the truth. I know that continuity in the area at times very bad. You are a great example of a man who changed the culture of it. And God is people, humanity, your excellence. You are a man of
nígbà tá à ń gbàdúrà ká bọ́ lọ́wọ́ òkú ayé kan tá a sì ń wò páǹbọ̀ ń bẹ̀ lọ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́ ìwọ ọlọ́run kí lè ṣe wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè nàìjíríà gan tó tún wá gbé kọ́ọ̀lù mìíràn bọ̀ kọ́ọ̀lù burúkú lélẹ́yìí abẹ́ ìbí ṣe à ń wò bí kọ́ọ̀lù.
So Kolu was in Lafia today, and he confessed that Nigeria and Nigerians are under the shackles of terrorism, under the shackles of poverty, and under the shackles of hopelessness. And who is ruling Nigeria right now? APC. Egbekegbe. Somebody said, Amoda Onikoko. Some of you, they don't even feel talk or say something for your presence. You know they forget something. Aboda Onikoko, Baba Onikoko, about Baba Lagbado, is currently not minding all this, all this evidence that came to light. Something that, like I told you before, Nigeria is a crime scene, and you probably would have to wait till you die or something before you will see the real criminals in Nigeria being punished for their crimes. It's a place you get rewarded for it. You just need to belong to the right clique. If you belong to the right clique, forget all about your sins. And that is why whatever you say won't really matter. But there are people walking around the clock just to sound so stupid, including lawyers. Now, there is this interview of Festus Keyamo. I'm going to share that with you. I don't know how many of you have seen that, okay? I don't want to waste my energy talking much about this drug and what have you, okay? Or maybe you can listen to this guy struggle, right? Struggle to convince himself, even fight. A lawyer, just because he wanted to lie, a barefaced lie for Kolu. If the price is right, many of these guys, they will do anything like this minister in Nigeria.
Let me get back to the conversation. And the question that a lot of Nigerians would like you to answer tonight, and perhaps they probably would have wanted to even hear directly from the man in question, your presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But there's a fundamental question on the source of the money he deposited, of which he reached a settlement. Has he given a satisfactory explanation of the source of the funds?
Well, thank you so much. Now, at that point, the burden was on the prosecution in the U.S. or from the states in the U.S. to prove that the funds were proceeds of narcotics. Now, that is, if you look at paragraph, I want you to go to paragraph 2 of the affidavit of Kevin Moss. He kept saying that it was his reasonable suspicion. It was like probable cause, probable belief. It was speculative. Politics was speculative. They had not come to a definite conclusion. Let me tell you what happened. Now, if you see the whole gamut of that affidavit, it was more or less like, well, you know, it happens to all of us, Nigerians. You go to a new land, you go to a new place abroad. Any Nigerian you see, especially from your own tribe, they become like brothers to you. You associate with them. You visit them. You may do one or two transactions. You may not exactly know what they are involved in. You may not know what they are involved in. It happens to all of us. And you can see that the whole of that investigation actually touched on 2 or 3 Nigerians. So let me admit that. That had nothing to do with Asiwaju. And I don't want to mention their names here. People should go and read about it because they have families in Nigeria. The other Nigerians, two of them, who were actually linked to narcotics. One of them was actually arrested. That one made confessional statements and confessed another Nigerian as the one involved. But that principal suspect, read that affidavit, never mentioned the name of Asiwaju. What happened? Asiwaju went to open an account. The address by which he opened the account was an address already, you know, used by these people. I think some block of flats. Maybe he happened to be in that block of flats too. So they now linked it to say, oh, well, these other people they were investigating for narcotics, they are in the same address used by Asiwaju to open that account. So that is what is there. I cannot deviate from it. They also said, after I opened the account, after some time, I wanted to explain. Can I go on?
Yeah, because he's in line. What I'm going to ask you is in line with what you are saying.
Yeah, so because I want to be honest.
Aware, because the version of the story,
I want to be honest. That's why I'm going along with and explain it.
Just a moment. Let me push the question so that you can put it together.
Yes.
The version of the story you're saying tonight, and for those who are a bit more privy to what really happened, there are allegations, and I don't know if you are aware, that your principal was a member of a drug cartel for which is said to, in fact, they say he was a treasurer. And I was asking you about the source because this is going to premise the question I'm going to ask next. So I'd like you to also be careful in the answer so that my next question might be favorably answered too. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. Please do not deviate from the affidavit. I want everybody to fact check the two of us. There was they never mentioned him as the treasurer. They said he was treasurer of Mobile. They never said he was treasurer of any narcotics group. What they said was that he was found to have worked for an organization, owned by the people they were investigating. That he worked for that organization, that distribution organization. He worked for them without going into details, without having any proof of it. I'm very careful about the phrase that was used in that affidavit by Kevin Moss. Because you see, with a trained eye and the trained eye of a prosecutor, I read every line one by one. I've done this more than 10 years ago and came to the conclusion that Asiwaju had nothing to do with this. Because I read this more than 10 years ago. So I read it with a trained eye. So that is the phrase. If a prosecutor is looking for something to nail him, you have to go to that particular paragraph that now links Asiwaju. After they went all the rigmarole of investigating those 2 individuals, Nigeria, they now came to the point of Asiwaju. They now came to the point that where they now found out that part of the friends, relatives, that's what they use, friends and relatives, who worked for that organization owned by these people was somebody known as Asiwaju. That is all, that Tinubu. That's how they came to that. That's how they came to link him. Normally, they do that as a sweeping investigation. Yeah. Let me explain to you, because as a prosecutor, you do that in a sweeping manner. When you are investigating a crime, anybody linked in terms of transfer of funds to and fro from the person's account to your account, as a standard procedure, they will investigate everybody who paid money into and withdrew money from that account. It's standard procedure. But after all of it, they will now let me
then push this here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Senior Advocate, let me refer you to Section 137 of the Constitution 1D, subsection 1D, which says that a person under a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name it's called, or for any other offenses imposed on him by any court or tribunal shall not be qualified to contest for the office of the President of Nigeria. In view of the forfeiture and the settlement that Bola Tinubu had in the United States, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, what are the legal implications of that circumstance, considering the section 137, subsection 1D of the Constitution?
Well, forfeiture is not a fine, you know. I don't want to refer to you again. When I say I'm educating, this is like a class we are having. But I don't, for all those who think, for law students everywhere, who think forfeiture is a fine. Fine is a punishment. Fine is a consequence of a conviction. Fine is a consequence of a criminal trial. So fine has nothing to do with forfeiture. Forfeiture is a civil process. It's a complete civil process to say, well, we are not even going into trial at all. The state goes into forfeiture proceedings with individuals just for the purpose of getting their monies. It does not mean you have committed a crime. You may have not fulfilled your obligation as a citizen regarding financial payment, just like tax. You have, at that point, he had not fulfilled his financial obligations regarding the deposits that were made there and the interest on those deposits.
How could somebody, right? This is the question I kept asking myself when I was watching that interview, right? How could somebody who claimed to be a lawyer, a prosecuting lawyer most times, a senior advocate of nuisance, that is the highest title before you become a judge or anything, in your profession as a lawyer in Nigeria, you become a senior advocate of nuisance or nonsense or any hand that you like, they will call you son. This is one of them. And he said that boldly. He was trying to make up a story. What they are saying is that Tinubu used the address. All these things not just, you see, with the right price, Nigerians, they would defend Abacha. Nigerians, they would defend Hitler. With the little price or right amount of a price, they would defend any worst dictator in this world that you've read about and you feel like, Nigerians will defend them. They'll tell you. They'll make up stories. That's the likes. And funny enough, on this same thing, this same Tinubu, you see that Keyamo once went to court, right? To question these same discrepancies about this same Tinubu. His education is this, is that, and all that. But today is working for him. I mean, then he was lying bare-faced. You see, let me tell you something, because this is it, If you go to any, whether not civil or criminal or anything, in fact, criminal case, when they say they are investigating people for narcotics, right? They can come and collect that iPhone 14 that somebody gifted you in their investigation, and they will mention you. What is your relationship with that person? They can come and take the car that your boyfriend just bought you because they are investigating him for narcotic or connection with a drug pushing or anything, money laundering or any crime. And the proceed of that, if that car your boyfriend just bought you is a proceed of it, they will write your name there. Tokwe Ani Baba, 26 years old female. She is the girlfriend to the narcotic member called so and so. You will be listed because you have taken part in from the, whether you know or known. That is where the issue of plea bargaining comes in. Okay? If you suddenly become the banker or estate agent who is building or buying properties for narcotic or drug cartels, give me a sec. For narcotic or drug cartels, one day when they hold you, right, you would have to what? If you are smart enough, they will give you two options. Are you ready to give up all you know about these people and arrangement? If you are willing, right, and we know your involvement, we know how deep you are. But if you are willing to stand as a principal witness, right, for us, we can give you this deal, we can give you that deal. Now, in that deal, depends on your involvement. You might have to forfeit some of the proceeds of that crime. Now, this is where Tinubu, the treasurer of Mobile, at the same time treasurer of the drug cartel in Chicago, back in the late 80s and early 90s. Now, that is there, in a way, that somebody who is collecting $2,400, I've been corrected on that. They said, no, it's not $1,400, it's $2,400. That was Tinubu's salary, working for Mobile, as they said. But what Keyamo, the story Keyamo is trying to create there is this. You see that in abroad, people have done that several times here in the UK, okay? Whenever they want to conduct any form of, fraud or scam, you don't do that to your house where you live, okay? You can get some dead address in council flat, or some flat in some dead end in the suburb, where you can do all your fraudulent transaction and the correspondences too. There are people, right, who have great credits here in the UK, who have been employed in the past to go and help people open bank accounts for fraudsters. Some of them are likely going to see my video too, and they will say, well, you are right, because at the end of the day, you see what Tinubu managed to use Nigeria to recoup, to become what it is today, ruin the lives of so many people here in the UK. They will say, my credit cannot do anything anymore, because I once used my bank account for so and so for these guys, or I gave them this and that, and they just ruined everything, or I'm in debt of so and so because something like this. You know what I mean? Now, what if Tinubu, according to Keyamo, did was that they needed somebody who has something that is not in any way, who looks like legit. They need somebody that looks legit. So according to the record, Tinubu was working for Mobile, okay, in America. Then he has friends, right? So they told him to go and, to go and open bank accounts. And the bank accounts that he had to open for them, many of them in that affidavit, right? A lot of bank accounts. He opened a lot of bank accounts for them at different addresses. All these abandoned flats in Chicago, address that are old people's addresses, that the moment they send letters, they will be there to receive the letter every morning before the owners of the address wake up to come and pick their letters. Now, in the 90s, Tinubu did that for them, opened this account, because the accounts were to be as sort of a colo, the colo to keep the proceeds of drugs, narcotics, something the FBI was investigating. That was what led them to Tinubu. No be say na Tinubu gong, they mix the coke. What Tinubu be say is their bank. It was their bank, and I don't know if it's still their bank. So when they were now investigating him, they realized that you are collecting $2,400. You will pay your rent. You've got a wife, and then you've got a daughter or so, or you know what I mean? Like, where did you see all this money from? I'll tell you something. You remember when we raised almost 50 grand to support the people, the Yoruba nation agitators in Nigeria are being persecuted in Nigeria, right? You remember when we raised that money here? Yes, we did. And they are all living witnesses, right? Over 21 million naira touched their hands from this platform. But that's not what I wanted to say. During that period, right, when the money was coming in into my bank didn't raise any alarm. They didn't see anything. There was no issue. The moment I started transferring the money, now when we're doing all the payment, pay for this, 2 million, pay for that, 5 million, pay for that one, and then, 3.9 million, and all that million we're paying to support those people back then. They just called and said, come, Alaye, what did they happen? What happened to all this money? Where did you get the money from? But it's so easy. Sure, you get now only one link you need to show them. Now, be this. And this is the purpose. And this is where the money is going. And this is, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing, because they check, they're like, the money your total income every month, right? It's not more than this that we have seen. But in the last so weeks, we have seen what should have been times 2 to times 3 of your normal income coming into your bank like regularly and living at the same time. Is something wrong? Because I could be doing money laundering for criminals. That's exactly what they traced to Tinubu in 1992, 1993. the money you are making, your job, everything in you, even if you have stock, everything does not correspond with this amount of money, $1.8 million. Omo. Now, ordinary £50,000, less than £50,000 was seen in my own bank account here in the UK. Imagine if they see £1.8 million pounds in my bank and I don't have any explanation for it. And I can't say, okay, fine. You know what? It's my money. I get you, blah, blah. Okay, I'll make a deal. I'll give you 1 million from it. My money. I won't part with my money. The only way you could part with any money is because it's not your money. Do you understand? Because they were like, okay, if you want to fight this, because we know this is a procedure of drug, narcotic and all that, okay? So if you want to fight it, yeah, we will take everything and we'll prosecute you. In fact, from the record they released, my brothers and sisters, from the records the American court released, they said Tinubu is even a snitch. It got to a point, he had to make a deal with them so that he can tell them everything they need to know by taking him off the defendant's list. He was to be a defendant. Then he became a principal witness. That's the story. That is what Keyamo is trying to twist, to change, to do all of that. But in Nigeria, like I said, criminals are their lords and saviors. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. With the right money, right? Somebody will not know you at all. He go to talk about you like, say, now your mama born am. You grew up together. Pay them the right money. I've seen them. I've seen some of these hungry boys everywhere. They are willing. They are ready. And they are those who easily say, oh, what do you call it? It's because you hate him. Why should I hate anyone? Like, even you will like them, your life is not better. Here you get. So, I mean, it's the narrative they have to create to defend the rogues. And Keyamo, a minister in Nigeria, sure. Anyway, make I take you to Aba. The reason why I'm taking you to Aba is because from what we got, Obi was in Aba today, and as usual, we'll track that too. So, but before we get to that, like I've told you, I mean, I've said this many times, okay? There's something about the people with Tinubu in Lagos. Listen, I don't know why they are panicking and what have you. From all they have told us, if Tinubu is not going to be president of anywhere, Lagos will always welcome him. It will always be his home, and he can be their president. But every day they want to prove it. There's a video of them taking a trek just recently. Hey, I've been able to change the house spots. They want to prove it. The same thing in Ogun State. Oh, sorry about my clip. All right. So, more of the reasons why when I see people like that, even if you say they give them money, some of them, even if you don't give them money, they are programmed that way. Are you with me? Just give them food or anything. Like the way you say they have weaponized poverty. And that is one thing, right? Because you see all these people you are seeing around who are trying to validate, because that's what they're doing. They are trying to validate the what do you call it? Their leaders, or let me say their oppressors' certificate of slavery or enslavement, so to say. Okay, you have people, right, who understand that things have gone really, really bad. They are the living example of that. But at the same time, they are not really eager, right, to get themselves out of that situation because, according to them, the alternatives are not in any way better than what they have. And you see, for somebody like myself, right, who have seen some of these things firsthand, I have been, I was in Nigeria in 2018 and 2019. And I actually had one-on-one with people. And I can tell you this, this for free. People they don't really want alternative from this slavery. They are just hanging on because according to some of them, it could be their turn just anytime. And that mindset is so strong that you'll be wondering, why is it so hard to attract Yoruba sons and daughters? The, the politically exposed Yorubas, the Yoruba elite, the Yoruba money bags, call them that, the economic shakers in Western Nigeria, to be at least attracted to the message or the advocacy for the Yoruba sovereign nation, when they know in the long run, right, they even stand to benefit even more as Yorubas in a Yoruba country than what they have to kill, to fight for, even kill for, or be killed for, waiting to share what Nigeria has, the crumbs Nigeria have for them. So when you look at people like this, when you see them around and you're like, they are so willing to renew this slavery that they are ready to tear you apart, tear you down, for telling them it is going to be a disaster like it has always been. So sometimes I was thinking about this, talking about this insecurity in Yoruba land. And I was like, we want Yoruba nation. So many of us genuinely want it. Okay? I want it. I want something that is, the frontal, or let me say, the beam for the people of Yoruba land to trudge through the Nigerian backwardness that they have, sort of forced on us. Now, what do I mean by this? Lack of coordination, exposure to what imaginary influence, and then the self-greed of people, but most importantly, lack of coordination. I mean, Yorubas used to have elders, leaders that would summon the collective assembly of Yorubas. And when they call for something so important, not politics, so something so important about Yoruba's agenda or Yoruba's advocacy, you will see everyone that matter gathered together. But these days, when they call together, it is not to discuss Yoruba land. It is not to discuss whatever Yorubas are facing in Nigeria today. It is to discuss how much they are, I'm talking about these criminals, how much they are or they stand to benefit if they continue to be loyal to Nigeria at the expense of the people of Yoruba land. Because look at it this way. The insecurity in Yoruba land, right, normally could end with one single frontal coordinated approach. Now, we have ruled out the politicians. We have ruled out some of these other opportunities in Yoruba land. But where are the real think tanks in Yoruba land? The real ones that they call the elders and leaders and all that, who have silently been following, right, the campaign, the advocacy for the Yoruba sovereign nation all these years, and seeing as well the reasons why people are clamoring for this, but they have been so quiet, complicit, coded in a way that sometimes they get triggered so easily when you approach them and say, what are you doing about? Why are you not talking about this? Why are you not talking about that? And they get triggered. Like, I don't know if you have seen some of them, right? So we have, for example, we have different organizations who have been speaking out and speaking up, okay, for the people of Yoruba land, especially in the last 2 years. But somehow, the effect, the level of influence or control that is required to help discourage people like the videos I showed to you earlier, they are Yorubas. They are living in that bondage called Nigeria. And they want to keep it that way. They are ready to bleed to ensure that they keep it that way. The influence of the real Yoruba organizations in Yoruba land that could have ordinarily swayed things are no longer there. That is why when people said, how do we combat this insecurity? I said, if there is no coordinated approach, right, it will just be an ordinary wishful thinking. And that's exactly what happened. At the end of the day, there are people who are willing, so willing, right, to stand up against those who are terrorizing us in Yoruba land. Not just the armed Fulani terrorists, including the Yoruba elite, Yoruba politicians who continue to do everything within their power to ensure that Yorubas will be dead. Yorubas will be dead to the to the word of defend yourself, stand up and do it. Rather, they will be triggered if you ask them to stand up, because they will be like, why should we stand up? There's no problem, because the politicians have managed to ensure that things like this, they never make it straight to their mainstream media. And if they ever make it to their mainstream media, there is so much poor coordination among people who care. I'll tell you something about frontal coordination, which we don't currently have. Most of the time, when I say there are things we could do by ourselves, but we will only be able to do them if we have a sort of a collective approach and not charlatans, right? Making incendiary statements, provocative statements, empty statements that further makes it more worthy for the criminals who are waiting to gaslight us simply because we are asking that we want to be protected, or they should let us protect ourselves. Somebody, or should I say many people on this platform, suggested in the past and said, if we had a coordinated organization right there in Yoruba land, the one that even the political elite in Yoruba land would dread, people, they will be like, don't joke with them. I'm not talking about violence now, because most of the time, right, the reason why I have been a little bit, very, very careful in identifying with some of these groups and some of these guys is simply because, sadly, it's simply because they are not as coordinated as you would think, right? And in most cases, most of them speak right there, from their heads, not from their mind, in most cases. Are you with me? But when somebody suggested there, he said, Mayegun, if we have a real coordinated approach in Yoruba land, where trusted the people who could indeed, right, pull that number of Yorubas out of Yoruba land, who could go about and say, enough, right? Whatever it is that is making it look like it is an hopeless situation for Yorubas in Yoruba land, right? Will turn to an awful one where they can then believe that indeed they have a life outside, outside Nigeria. But here is something. Rather than people coming together, using that coordinated approach, like I said, right? They have opened themselves up, make themselves so vulnerable enough that the same elite in Yoruba land that should be so worried for their own failure in Yoruba land, the ones that they are actually throwing back at us, asking us for validation, asking us, that if you don't support what we are doing, if you don't back what we want, then you can consider yourself as a Omoale Yoruba and the rest of that. So all this gap, right? They made themselves so vulnerable that behind the scene, ladies and gentlemen, behind the scene, rather than us having a coordination, okay, what we have is a rivalry here and there. And that's, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I completely chose to stay in a way. But talking about coordination, I'll give you this example. On Mayegun's Diary Political, which you can go out there and verify and confirm, because I should even give names as well. On Mayegun's Diary Political, sometimes ago, it was like this, right? We're so worried, so concerned. Like, nobody is speaking up for the violence that they are unleashing on the people. They are underreporting them. They are calling them fake news. Okay? And a lot of people were talking. A lot of people were talking then. Okay? A lot of groups were talking too. However, on Mayegun's Diary Political, people felt like all this talk will not change anything. We should do something. And if we want to do something, it is now or never. And that's exactly what happened. Within a space of 2-3 weeks, that we decided, oh, we're going to do something. Yes, we're going to do something. We're going to put resources together and do something. We did, and we touched the lives of the victims of the lives of the victims of Nigerian persecution. That is something like a belt on our own shoulder, talking about coordination and what it can achieve. We were able to reach out to the 12 people that were wrongly kidnapped from Oloye Sunday Igboho's house on this platform. Right? We reached out to them and we supported them with millions of naira. Yes, we did. Oloye Sunday Igboho himself, from the moment it was pronounced that it was going to be released, where we actually had to make a deposit of 2 million naira to a lawyer. That is action, coordinated action, something, right? Then it got released. Then afterward, millions of naira were also provided, right, for him legally, for his welfare, simply because a coordinated platform. An example of it, not because we really wanted to take charge of anything, just an example of a coordinated approach towards their things. Same thing as well for the leaders of Ilano, the deputy leaders of Ilano. Millions of nairas were also spent on their own welfare by this platform. They are alive. Coordinated. Something that you can say, and with that was what I was expecting, right? From organizations that can help us push in a way to get such support from everyone who is eager to see that something, there are actions put behind words, not just words and words, empty barrels, media this, media that. Something. It was on this platform that people said, hey, although we are fine, you are, we love the fact that you are speaking up for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are doing all of this here. We continue to, all of that. But Mayegun, and I remember it was JJ. If JJ is watching, JJ was like, Mayegun, we need to also reach out to the IPOB at the time. which we did. 2 million naira was also made available to the legal team of IPOB by this platform. That is coordinated approach towards anything. People can talk and all that, right? And if we had managed, or if we have something in a bigger form and a bigger platform where all other smaller and other can come under and then and push, like we tried, right? The issue of insecurity in Yoruba land could have become something that even the politicians in Yoruba land won't be able to hide from you. But today, if you say much about it, they will call you enemy. They will say it's because you don't like this. It's because you hate that. On this platform, right, in a space of 4 months, we raised over 20 million naira that actually touched the lives, the most important things in the lives of people affected by Nigeria for speaking up. That is a coordinated approach. No, nothing selfish, nothing personal, nothing like a glorification or what have you. And all of this were not done because we were looking for recognition from who? We wanted to see actions put towards words that are there. But behind the scene, ladies and gentlemen, we are unable to have, at that time, we had people, we had communities, we have people from different states in Yoruba land, okay? Different states in Yoruba land. We had people who were like, yes, this is our own vigilante group. This is our own security group here. This is our own, if we need support. Here in Kogi, we need our support. And to me, I was like, normally, those shouldn't come to us. It should go to the people, that people should know that these are the people who are fighting and want Yoruba nation for all of us, if all of us play our role. Do you get that? But today we still report about our people being kidnapped. There's not even like a real surveillance. That's something that many of you have suggested here. Oh, we need to get drones. We need to get this. With so many beautiful ideas you've suggested here. All of this could have been passed down where the people who have been doing it and doing everything, if they, you know what I mean, like who are really dedicated doing what they said they are doing, right? These resources would have been channeled to them. And this, you see, you can't say you want to fight and defend your land without having the resources to do that, right? If the elite of the land, if the government of the land have decided, right, to take resources away from fighting insecurity deliberately, if you want to replace them, right, you must have the same resources, not just mouth. And we are talking about real resources that is an endless stream of resources, money and money, because you are doing the job of those who are in authority, who fail to. But you don't do all of that by just talking. And look at us today. We shout to the United Nations, or we shout to Queen of England. She's dead. Maybe King of England now. We'll shout to who and who again? We'll shout to Joe Biden in America and the rest of them. When our brothers and sisters who are going through this hell are putting on yellow uniform, purple uniform, shouting àwọn lokan, ẹni tó bá ti kú ní tiẹ̀ gbé. There should be this influence, but it's gone beyond that now. And that is why most of the time when I say something, right? That's why I said, I've actually said this before. I said, most of all this that we do, they are supposed to be thankless job. If you ever see anybody that says, thank you so much for what you are doing, or you are doing a great job, just nod your head and say, well, thank you very much for saying that. Nobody send you. Nobody send me. Nobody send anybody. But we have to do something, no matter how little or how big, in our little capacity or bigger capacity, anywhere you found yourself. And you do them not because you wanted to be praised for it. That's one thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. That's but when you achieve it in a bigger way, when you achieve something that is coordinated and finally, it's a different feeling, isn't it?
I sit down for you, don't find me come here again. energy and carry
What's the essence of the tripod?
you have been our guest. Everything we produce, carry and go shokoto.
Amen.
Our man is on capacity, credibility, and character.
Liars. Do you get that now? Like, if I say something, right? People's feelings. So it was this pretty much like, oh, are you criticizing so person? Are you talking about this or that? Like, oh, let us start a fight. And I'm like, I'm not starting a fight with you, dumbos. You heard me clearly. If you are going for Biafra as an Igbo man, don't think you are doing anybody a favor. You are doing yourself and your generation to come a favor by standing up for Biafra. That is the legit thing to say. I'm fighting for you. No. Stop it. I'm fighting for the people of Yoruba land. Look at people who are fighting. No, you're not fighting. Come on, stop it. Stop giving yourself some messianic feelings that make you think you are actually, are you being serious? You're fighting for yourself. I'm fighting for mine. Everyone is fighting for theirs. But when it is all together, then it means we are fighting for ourselves and our future. Don't make yourself feel like you are doing something that, you need to be, come on. Maybe it's just me, Sha. There are some people who love being, the feeling of being messianic, even without anything to show for it. Just, So people feel like it should be. But again, I only just want to call your attention to it. It's probably not going to make any difference, okay? With what I have seen so far, right? But when I see news of these attacks and others, right? I just feel like, I wish we have real people that we can actually say, see, what's going on? What else do you need? What other help do you need? Why is this happening? We thought we would have, in a way, put this behind us and all that, but people, hardly with the news come out. And when it comes out, it's just days after, most times. You know what I mean? I hope that I won't be sitting down here in another 1 year, right? Still saying the same thing. Mayegun, what are you doing about Yoruba? What do you want me to do? Other than to tell you that it is the right thing to fight for. And you don't need anybody, right? To motivate you, to encourage you to do that. What Nigeria is doing right now is enough motivation. And listen, if the number is right? If you can match them, number for number, and get them to show to them that, listen, no, we are tired. Or you can't just say you are tired on social media, and physically, we only see scanty people who could actually come. I so much appreciate many of us who have been, very constant and out there, especially in Nigeria. But every time I see you, right, walk or march for Yoruba nation and then protest this or that, yeah, I won't lie to you. Most times my heart sometimes just kind of have to. Sometimes it feels like it's in my mouth. You know what? Because I feel like if anything happened to you, who exactly, and which organization exactly is going to undo whatever happens to you? Most of the time, we'll just have to come back to social media to seek help. That's not right. Now, I was reading something earlier before I came on as well, and it was the Nigerian army. They said that this is what their media reported. Somewhere in Songo, Ado-Odo-Ota, okay? Hey, what is this area called again? Oh, why did I forget? Or somewhere in Ado-Odo-Ota. If I remember it, I'll tell you, right? Few days ago, they were doing their traditional Egungun festival and what have you, okay? Just around about that time, the Yoruba Nation members, they were doing their normal peaceful procession, like normal awareness and all that. But just right about that time, yeah, the Nigerian army, they just started a commotion. What happened? And something happened earlier. before the Yoruba Nation members actually marched past the area. Okay, what happened? They said one of the soldiers, okay, fought with somebody, or somebody fought with one of the soldiers at the Egungun festival or the traditional festival they are doing in that part of the town. So that soldier now ran back to their barracks. When he ran back to the barracks to bring the rest others to that venue to come and deal with the people doing their Odun Egungun in Adodo. It was around that time, Gele, that the Yoruba Nation processors were passing. Sure you get. So they were dragging and dragging and dragging there, the people doing Egungun. And the people doing their Egungun there, they snatched a gun from one of the soldiers right there. And when the report will come out, you know what the report said? Yoruba Nation agitators fought Nigerian army and they snatched a gun. That's what their media reported. That's what most of you reported. So before I came on tonight, I saw where they said their soldiers, Nigerian military has now given the order that people should go to Ogun State. If they see any Yoruba, anybody who is claiming to be Yoruba, Adodo Ota. God bless you. She get me now. That they should shoot them and kill them. And it's like an invitation to start their killings in Yoruba land. So if I am saying that we need more and more truthful information to help our people to understand what we are being dragged into or what we are actually into already, okay? I know what I'm saying. And it is not really a target at anybody, because if I should really tell you what goes on behind the scene, I keep saying that, Abby. I swear to God, even me myself, I won't feel good about, I don't keep things, but this is a particular one that I would rather let it play itself out because I won't feel good. So many of you will never, ever want to have anything to do with some of them anymore. Seriously. But again, like I said, I can continue to give my own tiny bit advice here and there and continue to do my own part. So every time you want to say, what have you done? I have what we have done here. And it's not what Mayegun has done. It is what have you done through Mayegun's diary political. Okay? And one of them is that I have saved people from the nightmare of Nigeria. Do you get that? With the support of my people here too. This platform has saved a lot of people with a lot of money from the pang, and then the atrocities of Nigeria. You can go and verify. So they gave this number, this amount of people in, what do you call it, in Abia today, and I thought I should share that with you. Maybe you should listen.
I sit down for you, don't finally come here again. What's the essence of the tribe? You have been our guest. Everything you produce, China will show control. Amen. Capacity, credibility, and character. And in Peter Obi, we have seen those things. Every single what is happening, Obi one party used to boast that this is the center of their support. That thing is history now. The day my brother Obi moved out, the end was spelled for that party. Abia State is the best state to break their heart. Once they lost it, and it's 99.9% obedient, that is the end of the story. When we shall live free with each other, when we live with each other, and I'm here to lend support and let you know where I come from, are all obedient. Thank you so much and remain blessed. Nobody living in
Our spokesman is here now. National spokesman is here. Kenneth. I have your details.
We are committed to building a better Nigeria.
You people are blocking him.
Our commitment is to secure Nigeria. Our commitment is to secure Nigeria.
And listening to us. Nigeria, APC from top to bottom. Top to bottom.
Anyway, I've done my part. I just want to take calls now. Okay, let me take a few calls and call it before I call it a night. Remember, if you are a wine drinker, I have a £75 voucher here for you from Naked Wines. All you have to do is to go on to Naked. When you get this voucher, I'll give it to you. If you are a wine drinker from the UK, you can get yourself champagne and any other thing you like on my bill. So I'm gonna go make myself another cup of tea. Then I'll take calls. So you can ask me questions if you want, or you can add to what we have said so far, or you can just say good night and we'll see some other time. Don't go anywhere. I will be back. Remember, you can still like this broadcast, like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't. And when I get back, I'll take your calls. Hello there.
Hello, how you doing?
Ahmed, you have always, somehow lately, you've always been making that first slot. How are you, Baba?
Baba, I do.
Well, sorry for keeping you waiting, by the way. So, I'm back.
No, I just enjoy the music they do.
You're singing it. So, how you be?
Abi, you go give me the voucher, man, I go drink the wine.
I wish they go ship them to you, no.
I play you.
You will say you're supposed to be afar. You won't drink wine.
I know you. It's here. I'm moving.
Better.
Yeah, moving fast. The guy in Pagu. But you want to know to buy a time to buy a combono. You want to need it.
It is well. So, how are you, Baba?
Baba, I do. How are you now?
Same mode.
Well, make I pick them from where you see some soldiers who meet
Yoruba Nation agitators. That's what their media said, and that's not what happened.
Yes, they will always because Yoruba Nation, they have been looking for ways to demonize it.
Something to criminalize it. You get that?
Yes, one shot one con. Ọlọ́run sì ní fún wọn ṣe.
Àmín.
God passed them. Ọlọ́run ní fún wọn ṣe. And for those soldiers, we have Yorubas that are in the military.
Mm-hmm.
We have Igbos. Different languages in the military.
Yes.
But it is one orientation. They'll tell you to obey the last command. Even if Oga they wrong, you don't get anything. You just obey.
Just follow the order.
And that is what has been pushing people to where they are not supposed to be. I give people different examples on how the military is being run. You see down here in the United States, the military down here in the United States, just the recruitment alone, the processing of the recruitment, you have to sit for an exam. We call the exam ASVAB exam. You will pass that exam because they will test you. You will pass that exam. They have a score line. You have to pass it. You go for physical. And if you are doing this recruitment, it is one-on-one, you and your recruiter. It is one-on-one.
No amount of the number of recruits they are bringing in.
No. They don't care. It is one-on-one. Those recruiters, their work in the military is to bring people into the military. So if you go online, if you just check, you see recruiter number, you dial the number, you go and meet them in the office, you book appointment, you sit down, you start putting you through every single process until you get there. And the moment you pass your exam, you pass your physicals, it is done. Nobody, you don't need anybody. Or anything. You don't need any fucking idiot.
So, which means if you see anything wrong, you have a chance of speaking up and saying, no, I'm not doing that.
Of course. Of course. So after that process, you will now go to training ground. We call it boot camp. When you now go to the boot camp.
Is that the boot camp that Tinubu is talking about? 5 million. They will send.
Nigeria get boot camp for they get boot camp.
Tinubu will create one.
They don't get boot camp. She boot camp don't create in Nigeria. That training ground don't create boot camp. No, he never reached boot camp. He still there. So if you can't go boot camp, before you go, me as a Muslim then, they was asking, they said, what do you eat? Because not even what do you eat. You will give them, if you have, I know they eat pork. Most of the meat where I eat and everything where I eat, yes, with all the things where I eat, I had to go and bring a paper that said, I don't do this, I don't do that, this is my time to go and pray, this is this. All the papers that I added it to my everything and sent it then. And they respected that fact. This time I came over the two, we are excused to go. Sharp, you come back. Time to eat. They already know what to eat. They give you.
So there's no time for you to start feeling like, oh, they are doing this to me because
No.
I'm black, or they are doing this to me because I'm a
No.
Muslim. Things that will normally just make you resent them. They're not doing that. So why would you want to serve honestly then?
No. They are not doing that. You understand? And the moment, the day you write your exam, you pass your physical, you enlist, you already become the part of the military. You enlist there at the next enlist. So why I'm saying all this is process new. If you are a soldier, you're on this platform, listen very carefully. Listen. If you're thinking what a soldier is doing in Nigeria, that is how a soldier is supposed to behave, like mad people. No. I have been in that kind of your situation, and nothing that thing will do to you. Instead, it will just haunt you for the rest of your life. Because you will get to a stage and you will be guilty of every single thing you have done. You will feel like, why did you do it? I used to feel it up to tomorrow. Like there's some madness. I did. I'll just look myself and say, where will it go? I'll just look out, scratch and say, alone. This thing where we do, no be small thing. We cross some kind lines where we say, Baba, no be here. But someone just thank God say, Adipelo alone, say, we still move forward. If you are a soldier and you are listening or you happen to come across this video and you are listening, listen very carefully. Nigeria will just use you and destroy you. Here in the United States, I'm talking because you will say, oh, you cannot compare the system of the United States and Nigeria. A soldier everywhere is a soldier. Forget it.
A soldier.
You are supposed to be treated as a soldier. Anyone who tells you cannot compare the military of Nigeria, don't you use weapons? Don't you carry guns? Don't you wear uniform? They do all these things. The same training, everything, they do all these things. So if they are giving you the orientation, it's supposed to be the same.
You know what these soldiers in Ogun State
they pay you less.
Ahmed, you know what they did?
Yeah.
Last year, the people of a community, you know this story, by the way. They resisted the Fulani herdsmen invading their town. They pushed them out. So 24 hours after that, Nigerian soldiers from Olosun military barracks are being Abalamala military, I don't know, in Abeokuta, they moved down straight to that community. And they called all the old men, young men, who chased the Fulani and their cows out of their community. You remember this story now? They flogged them.
I remember the story. Mayegun, I don't know if I ever told you. I once was in Alamala.
Oh, did you work there yourself?
In Alamala. Yeah, Alamala.
Alamala, it's called Alamala. Be here. Olosun police station.
Alamala.
Okay, it's Alamala. They beat old men. Old men. I'm talking about old men in their 60s, 70s. So they whip for they said, next time you do that, if they come here to attack your village and you call us for help, we will never answer you. Shall let's stupid in it. That's what they told them. Now they've given them the marching order to go and kill anybody doing Yoruba Nation in Ogun State because they collected their gun. Media said they collected their gun when they were not
Mayegun, like I said, I still have youth. I have younger ones. I have friends that are still in the Nigerian army. And I believe with the little I have taught them, the things I've shown them. I used to brag to them, like, if I come to Nigeria, if I like go to their office, sometimes like let me just go and pay them visit in their office. When I get there, Moli major, Moli walk, Kamo Abikini, in Wally, Moli major, in Recon, I'll just look at Marco Wally. I don't send you. There was a day an incident happened. I think that was around 2019. The last time I went before I went this time around. I went to, there was a barrack in Kaduna where it's like ordinance corps. Or if you belong to my uniform or soldier. Right. So if I think one wore 3/4 camouflage, but the US Marine, DVBI, only more. So if I think one I can't walk fast. I can't see one captain like that. Young guy, for age says he no go reach me. I just pass on. The guy just hey, you come here, Muko, turn Muko, I'm talking to you. Come here. Money. I just smile, shake my head, Money. What's up? What's going on, man? Don't you see me? Can't you give compliments? Money compliment? No, money compliment. You mean me? Give you a compliment. Well, I'm not your soldier, okay? I'm not your soldier here. What do you mean you're not a soldier? You're putting on that money. Look, calm down. I'm not your soldier here. I'm a soldier in the United States, so I'm not your soldier here. As I call United States, Odake. Moi, your ID me, moi, slowly. I tell you, bro, as I enter that place, come on, this guy won't relate to me. I don't think I'm Facebook for Wakapa.
It won't be your party. Now, so it be. Like, why do you treat yourself like that? Why do you treat people?
I'm a fucking opera here. You are a captain. How much you collect? We have a say,
I hope they get it and that, whatever
I hope they get it. You will regret it to anything you are doing now. You think you are doing your army job. You are not doing the job. You are just causing yourself pain.
Just like later on in life, with uniform.
In life, you will regret that you did all those things. If you don't turn back and say no to those things. Even they ask you go and do something. There are some things that if you go and do, when you get there, just use your sense. Yeah, obey the last order, but when you obey the last order, when you get there, use your sense. That is just the only way. Thank
you very much, Ahmed.
And Keyamo,
She worry we will game to Keyamo playing bang. Like people in Nigeria will believe him.
Who go want defend Tinubu? Who go want defend Tinubu? We no go look useless, stupid. And they also support on carry. I hear when you don't listen. I didn't want to buy it or long around. I didn't want to buy it.
Ahmed, let me take another one. Nice one, Ahmed. So I have another call on the line. Oh, hello there.
Yeah, my evening, the general.
Baba, how are you, sir?
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, the name is Akinola Fioye once more.
Sir Akinola. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Baba, wine.
Yes, sir. I know mo go fẹ́ sọ pé mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbé ògógóró yẹn fún mi ọ̀pá yìí tí mo mú lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ti tán lára mi.
Àwọn wáìnì nìkan wà tó lè fún yín ní 40% tí Jack Daniel náà máa fún yín ọ̀ṣẹ́ mọ̀ṣá.
Àní tó bá lè bí ògógóró gan ló lágbára jù sódà lè pé Yorùbá nation.
Ọtí ẹlẹ́rìn dòdò lélẹ́yìn ẹ má dàn ló wọ́n tó ẹ wá mọ nǹkan ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ check nǹkan kan tó bá ń ta ògógóró ń bẹ̀ ká tó ṣetán lálẹ́ yìí ó lè jẹ́ ẹni máa fún. Because wine nígbà mo lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn last wine everything. Assorted wine, exotic, and all those stuff, Baba. But first thing first, if I deal with you, if I confirm it, I'll give it to you, sir. She gets, or if I don't know, if I like it, she get. But it will about us,
anyone, Baba.
Yeah.
I know get choice. Too much about the movie, Shara, me abale.
I'm going to on behalf of my Gunio. She gets, and it's like,
trust me.
It's guess I'm gonna be able to take mo be yin ko e ba mi mo fẹ́ kí èyàn kan jẹ́ kó di òbú mọ́ inú draw and be get, but whatever it is, Naked Wines lórúkọ wọn. Oye yín sìn.
No problem.
Anyway, yeah, I think wine nìkan ni wọ́n ní get.
What's the problem? More okay for the wine.
Right,
I love wine.
Like you said,
yeah.
For me 1 minute.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. By the way, only one caller to wà lórí aago mi náà tí mo fẹ́ gbé wọlé bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí sáré clear pẹ̀lú. Okay, mo tẹ́ máa ṣe fún mi sir, yeah. Ẹ kàn ṣe just I. Ẹ kàn tẹ I látòrí phone yẹn sìn. Ṣé lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ as we are talking?
Of course.
Lórí WhatsApp yẹn náà ni o. Ẹ kàn ṣe I. So màá lè lo yẹn fi reply. Mo try láti wá number yẹn jáde ní number at least yẹn gùn gan.
Okay, mo ṣe hi.
Oh, bless you. So now, mo fẹ́ kí ẹ check phone ní ṣẹ́gẹ́. Ẹ máa rí password and 1 sec. So mo send méjì picture ni wọ́n show yín. So tí yeah, so tẹ́ bá highlight ẹ Emari ní owó òkè £75, yes sir. Emari tẹ́ bá ti dé bí payment lórí website yẹn tẹ́ bá ti dé payment nǹkan tó máa bèèrè lọ́wọ́ yín nìyẹn password and you know the emo drill yẹn ṣá anyway so ẹ lọ take time yín lórí ẹ̀ kẹ́ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ bóyá tó bá ti wọlé ká tó kúrò lórí program sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Ọ̀sẹ̀ ti rí photo yẹn.
Ó ti wọlé already.
Oh, ẹ ti rí wọn.
Naked wine lovers.
Brilliant. That's the website.
£75 to spend.
Epic assorted. 1 bottle, 2 bottle, 20. You know how it be. Kì í ṣe nǹkan tó kúkú wọ́n jùjú you know anyway. So, tẹ́ bá ti níbi tẹ́ máa kó wọn sí. Ẹ kó as many as possible. £75 bá lè kó sir. Thank you very much. All
right, Baba.
God bless you.
MG.
Baba.
Sorry, adúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún Kotenshi, an eye-opener, and then all of my blessing at the family and all the people in the Temple of Truth, especially everybody me kind of Sherry, just like a book Moka when I was in the secondary school, is it Kamala or Iboma only I cried for my beloved country. Nigeria is a country that when you look at the people involved, those we call the so-called the evil leaders, I call them the evil leaders. It's a country that when you look at the way they play on human lives, emotion, and they don't have empathy, the way they play on human being lives they have killed. It's also unbelievable, my brother. I told you when I went home the other time, even Eton tap pure water, legitimacy. These people will take the pure water and break it, these people are so heartless. And the soldiers will be watching them, the policemen will be watching them, doing all these things. So when Keyamo is talking, I don't Sherry, those are the people. Oh yeah, I want to list you should list too. I'm a pile and my prayer is that you see these people, I so rich, we be their friends, we be their lovers. Because when you look at people defending Baba Olule, atrocities don't defend Buhari.
Sometimes it's good to defend people if they do the right thing, but how about making up lies to defend people?
Yes.
I mean, what does that actually make you as a person who have to make up lies in order to cover? Oh man, like Nigeria.
These are naked truth. You know, and that's why I said something that there's nothing that is impossible in Nigeria. If you go to Nigeria, if you spend 2-3 months, it's only God that will say that if you before you know it, you'll be corrupted somehow.
Baba, no,
and when you
I'll be like persuade mad, corrupted decay. No, you begin to ask yourself like because everybody normal now.
Yeah.
Normal. Everybody normal. Everybody look normal.
Yeah.
Let's not only mean mad you. Your people who are closer to you begin to say, sir. People closer to you be like, she go say Naija, you know, you want to kuroni. Is it not the same Naija? Lo de kuroni. Calm down now. No be waiting we they do for you. See, but the fact that I left this place and I came back years later, it's like a conscious choice. Or some of you don't even feel bothered. Down on our abroad, Jari. So I may likely not get corrupted though. I won't even be. Rather, sir, they may end up having to lock me in the house. If you want him to be normal, don't let him go out today. Just let him stay in the house, okay? And play him Sky News and CNN. Don't let him come out or else, they're going to say something is wrong with him. You know what I mean? But I get your drift. That is not hard to quickly fall into that trap if you stay there for long. I get your drift.
After spending over 20 years in this country, and I went to my home country, I spent 2 months and 20 days. When I came back, up to now, I came back early October. Early September.
Right.
Yeah, September, July, August, September 1st. Yeah. Do you know that now, me oti get yara me?
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth because they will rack your brain. They will mess you up.
Get used to it.
There's no empathy, no emotion. People don't value human lives again. Like what you said the other time, it is just a figure.
It's just a figure.
It's just a figure. Just a number. People will die by your side. Ọmọ kékeré, ọmọ 3 years old, I'm a òkú ènìyàn. Ọmọ 10 years old, I'm a video òkú ènìyàn. In the old, because people will be so deep. They will people will not go
like ọmọ kékeré ni ọmọ 35 years nísìnyí you see ọmọ 20 ọmọ 15 years ó lọ ṣe yahoo ni yahoo plus ni ẹ má kàánú ẹ o ẹ má kàánú like no empathy. They just need one reason, right, in order to show that they have no empathy. They can pretend that all they care, sure you get, but when they have the opportunity to show you that they have no real feeling, they don't miss it.
There's nothing like feelings, especially Sherry. Apart from the àwọn olówó wọ̀nyẹn, Sherry àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù. Yeah, àwọn ní kíní ẹ̀ pọ̀ jù lára ẹ̀ jù. Àwọn gan náà ń gbèjà, àwọn náà ń choose they make a choice of who is the more oppressive leaders
among our oppressors.
Among our thieves. Atiku ló lè jalè jù. Eléyìí ló lè jalè jù. Tọ̀hún ló lè jalè jù. So they weigh them. Atiku lè ó lágbára jẹ́lé lọ kíní kankan. So all this kind of a thing, you just sit down. I don't even get myself because I don't know how people can be so weird. Almost about 70 to 80% people I am telling you the truth. That is why I said if you are not careful, public transport, after a while, you just waiting they happen here.
Okay, I call your 1,000. I'm gonna go naked. You want your 1,000 naira me? Say, Baba, 1,000. Let's say yes. You cannot shit me on my money. Okay, you get 1,000. Wash your pada. Put on your clothes. Okay, thank you. You know,
I enter a tricycle. Yeah, I enter a tricycle one day.
Yeah.
Most gentle too. Maybe even only few will pay 200, 500. Okay, mamulo. So boy, me. It's 100 naira. Oh, they got 200 naira. Love money pay change me. Everybody think that change on Baba. Everybody me different change enjoy. And you will be not sure. But you know, for happens here, Benny. Àbí wèrè ṣe ni money máa gún ìdí èkó tó mọ̀ máa jọ
planning you just want to go somewhere.
I'm telling you.
Back. Now here you are. You need to go to the streets and say, "Wa máa gún gbogbo díẹ̀ àbí fún mi change mi."
Money ọmọ máa dẹmu lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ máa sọ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ìdí mẹ́ta. Àbí wèrè nìyẹn ṣé ìgbà tó rí gbé mu ayílala ló máa pa ṣé ìgbà mo sọ kí ni bàbá yẹn ni pé ẹjọ mo ní wo mo ṣí àwa 1 blow 7 die ni wá Ìjẹ̀ṣà àwa kan náà ní ìsàlẹ̀ Èkó mo ti bá dẹ̀ tún ṣe kí ni kan máa tún yọ òkà lápò máa ń nà ní àlùwò
nítorí 100 naira.
lórí 100 naira. Ó fẹ́ fún mi 100 naira padà kò fún mi ní 200 mo fún.
Okay, kò fẹ́ fún mi ní change 100 naira gan ló fa gbogbo eléyìí.
I'm telling you.
Tó ní kẹfì àwọn ẹ̀fìn yẹn lẹ̀. Bàbá gbogbo tẹ̀ ń sọ ìgbọ́n lè ti máa ṣe gan kẹ́tọ́ pé wá má ti yaṣọ ọ̀bọ yẹn. Má ti sáré bọ́ sọ torí èlò.
After a while, ṣé nígbà mo jáde kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ gbà mo jáde tí bàbá yìí fún mi lówó yẹn ó kọ́kọ́ ń wò mí mo tó fún mi change mo á lọ dúró sí kọ́nà kan ní. Ṣé èmi ni mo hùwà báyìí ṣá?
Imagine kò yẹ pé èèyàn kan record mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn kí n wá rí lórí internet explain fún pé no I'm not like that o. Nigeria nìyẹn sir. It's a normal thing.
All the corrupt brain in me. Oh, my brain was corrupted at that time. Because already
if you are in Nigeria, this is what I've noticed too. Okay, just before you go, sir, yeah? We are naturally defensive. Sure you get. I'll give you examples. Okay.
Yeah.
We are naturally defensive. If you meet somebody in a bus, right? And normally, they always sit people, 4 people or so back then. I don't know what they do now.
Yeah.
In a downfall, you'll be 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you see people who are like who are extra fleshy, right? Big people, they take more than a space for one person. Okay. Now, when you get in, people who are already like, God knows what everybody has faced during that day. For the day, right? Or what you're going to face that day. Yeah. He said, please, Esa, soon dear. You will never soon see. Hey, I disturb me, please. Okay. Esa, soon be you like bawa meji, ayen meji le wayen. Sholori bruku ni show alone see me ni. Okay. Ko shift to akoshibai. Everything that Danny. So let time come out, kilo really for argument, for God's sake. Just shift. Oh, God knows. All on lobo tima in the wa. We so go sunye.
I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, you see. Oh, ko trigger. Go. Check it. Come on. We are always defensive. To pass off we are let us all love our neighbors as ourselves, because God taught us to be good to our neighbors and all of that. Something as simple as that. Somebody may just say, are you saying that I'm not nice to my neighbor? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying God said we should be good to our neighbors, like love. You must be mad. I've been watching you.
Exactly.
You are talking to me indirectly.
Exactly.
You are using Bible to tell me that I should love my. So am I a bad person? Say, sir, no, I'm not.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. It is always like we are so angry for no reason, and we just need an excuse to let the steam out. But unfortunately, those who made us angry, they are still in control. We are just going to be angry for life until we put a break to it.
Yeah.
It is
well. Yeah,
thank you so much for taking that my voucher. Baba, now I can say it's not a waste. Baba, thank you so much. Make us take another one. Hello there.
Hello, Maegun. How are you?
Kenneth, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Same old. I can't complain.
No. I've been listening to your comments. It just gets interesting every day.
It is what it is. Somebody sent me a message, and he said, I should spend more time on talking about Yoruba Nation more. I said, I talk about Yoruba Nation almost every program of mine. There's none of my videos that you will never see me mention or advocate for that, okay? And I said, but listen, that is not what makes Maegun's Diary political interesting. There's so much to talk about. There's so much that people connect to. There's so much story that people will sit down there and they'll be connecting their own life and all that to some of these stories. And that's what makes Maegun's Diary political unique. Please don't take that away from us. I wish I could tell that person, but I'm saying it now anyway. So, yeah, it will always be interesting.
Of course. So, my point tonight is this. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch Kibalayi.
Kibalayi, yeah. Is that the one with Keyamo or someone else?
Yeah, with Keyamo and with that loud noise maker, trumpet blowing idiot called Dino Malai. Did you watch?
I haven't seen that of Dino. I've seen that of
oh my God.
Festus.
Oh,
tell me about that. You probably have seen that. You want to share?
I'm telling you, Maegun, it was like as if I was watching the two clowns of Hammer House of Horror. In fact, after listening to both, and it was separate interview, I came to one conclusion. I said, Maegun said this, that Nigeria is a crime scene.
It is.
Nigeria is a terrible crime scene. Nigeria is a place where practically anything goes. If AOSAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, is now trying to debunk and through all sorts of legal tactics and language to make us look like as if we are a bunch of people who do not understand anything.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense or a bunch of invalids. You know, people that you can just say anything to, and they'll say, no wonder. Thank you so much for explaining that to us. I didn't understand it before. Wait till you know, understand. Somebody forfeit proceed of crime so that you can get a sort of witness protection, what have you. And you say you are confused because a lawyer. Oh man, come on. They have the audience, Kenneth. Don't let us take that away from them.
Do you know that even during that interview, there was one consistent question the guy was asking him. And you know what he was doing? He was deflecting and distracting, trying to make it sound like as if it is deliberate. So I came to that conclusion. I said, well, you know, this guy will go down in history as one of the individuals that he will have his name written in a very horrific way. The same thing applicable to Dino. Dino was just backing like a dog.
Kenneth,
yeah,
that's one thing that may never happen. Listen, guys like Keyamo and many other guys who have who are supposed to have sort of wasted their goodwill from the people, deceived people in the past, make them feel like they are on their side, right? No matter how worse, no matter how terrible or how low they go, Kenneth, you would think, I mean, one day they will become like a pariah or something among the people. No, they will be rewarded with something higher and higher. You may wake up tomorrow, they say Festus Keyamo is governor of Delta State. Now like this, we go there, we go say, we are waiting for his end. We are do all the end, which people may not see. And even when the end comes, a lot of damages would have been done. But again, I get your drifts that they won't get away with it one way or the other. I believe that. But before then, Uncle,
I'm telling you. And again, my ego.
Yes, sir.
Look at the other aspect of that town hall you were talking about the other day, between Peter Obi and what's his name, Dino, and then what transpired there. Yeah. In the aspect of the fact that people did not show, Tinubu did not show. Do you want to know why they will not show?
Tell us.
This is why they will not show. Atiku first and foremost has already established himself as a pathological liar, a deceiver, not even the unifier that he keeps on ringing himself, and he knows that
his own friends said he's a liar. He can't be trusted, but a lot of millions of people said they want to trust him. I mean, I don't understand. But go on, Kenneth.
Exactly. So he's not going to be there. You know why? Because that same point and the same question is going to come out again. And trust me, guess what? He's going to deflate and distract. As for Tinubu, Jagaban is in Jagawiri. Is this? Look at the way he talks.
They can't allow him to read scripts to answer questions at a debate like that.
He's going to want out. Yeah, and because he's going to want out, it will expose the things that you and I and everybody in the temple of truth knows all along. That this guy is in fact very health-wise unstable. This is a very unstable human being. And in your capture today, that Buhari is saying Nigerians, APC is lucky to have Tinubu.
They should be grateful that they have that Tinubu said is going to be their candidate, as if to say they actually begged him to be. Not because of the billions and the billions of money that they actually have to pay people in order to get him there.
Exactly.
But yeah, Buhari said APC should be thankful that Tinubu agreed to be their candidate. Nigerians should be grateful for what is coming. About if you get brothers, when say you feel, tell them, well, I'll let you finish. Kenneth, go on.
But if you hear somebody like Buhari saying that, does that not tell you everything you need to know? That it takes a crook, a criminal, a thief like him, a low life like him to give glory and recommendation to somebody who is even worse than a thief like he thinks he is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The truth, the point here is this, is that they are just there for themselves.
Absolutely.
They are there
and the people open on them. You know, one thing I said sometimes ago, Kenneth, I said, sometimes It's not the fault of these guys. I mean, these guys, it's not their fault. There are people who are willing slaves for whatever they are getting. They will do it again and again and again and again. Even if they die, they want their children to do it again and again and again. So even if these guys want to give up their criminality, right? There is no reason for doing so because they already have those who already indulge them. So it's a win-win situation for them, and it's a lose-lose situation for the people who are putting on uniforms for their oppressors.
Exactly, and the same thing applicable to all the sectors in that country: police, whatever, security, army, airport, all of them across the board. Even when I went to Nigeria sometime in April, and you know, where you easily buy a car, you ship a car to Nigeria, you clear, you do all those things, right? Guess what? We got stopped with the checkpoint, and guess what? The same guy that stopped us said because the guy he kept on asking for documentation that has to do with customs. I mean, customs at the ship and when the cars were fled. And I asked, when I realized that the guy was delaying us,
a police officer?
I said, "Why are you delaying us?" Yes. I said, "Why are you delaying us?" He said, "Who am I?" I said, "It doesn't matter. Why? I'm in this car. Why?" Then when the next thing I hear, he said he was going to take all of us to the station and detain us. You know what I did? I just called him separate. I said, listen well. You see, it's like, obviously, I can see you are hungry and you are frustrated. This is not how they do things.
Right.
It takes the grace of God for you to come out of this nightmare. Because why? Because you have been umbrellaed to live like this. So if you don't know what else to do, I will politely advise you strongly, just move on. I'm asking normal thing.
Leave this job and get something doing with your life, man.
Exactly.
Live like this.
Don't let me bore you too much about it. The central thing I want to take, the takeaway I want to put out here is this. These people, I'm not just talking about the police, I'm talking about the Nigerian people. They have been subjected to this impoverished poverty. They have been kept there.
Some of them actually love it. They love it.
Yes, they do. They do, and that is why those all your comments. You see the way they push back on you. They keep pushing back on you. Guess what? Because this is who they are. This is what they want. This is the life they have chosen. So that's why I keep telling you that these people, like you said it to Maribu, they are irredeemable. You cannot redeem them.
No.
They are hopeless.
No.
So it's a dead end situation on arrival. Before you start the topic, they are dead before you even start. So that when I said to you the last time, I said Nigeria is on life support. That country is on life support. There is nothing in there. You can swing to the left, swing to the right, up and down. Nothing.
It's just swinging about like that, like Jangarova. Yeah.
Yes. So that is my own contribution.
Thank you very much for always stopping by to join us in this our chat and all that. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay.
Thank you, Michael. God bless you.
And you too. Here we go. Over.
My good general.
Baba.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Your member. In 2013, I found you on the 10th of September. I told you.
Let me take it slow, okay? It seems that you want to remind me of something because your voice sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start. You said something about 20. Did you say 2017? Something.
No, I've been your member since
you have been a member since 2017.
13. When you started on the teaching.
Wow. Baba,
when you started on the
you are the veteran, so good enough.
God bless you. From Nigeria.
The number. Where are you calling from Nigeria, Baba? Where are you? Just area.
I told you I'm in Lagos.
Where?
Lagos.
In Lagos, Baba. Nice one. Thank you so much for staying up, because you are 1 hour ahead of us in the UK. And if my time is right, this is like 10:22 In the UK, you should be somewhere around
Yeah, this is after 11 years.
It's after 11 there, Abi. So 11:22. Good one.
Yes.
So thank you so much for staying up, I would say. Baba, you have the floor. Everybody hear you.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to say much. Somebody like Ahmed.
Yeah.
Somebody like Ahmed, we are very good. We are close. He's a colleague of my in-law in the military.
Yeah. So you know
so my
Ahmed.
in-law, my in-law knows him very well.
From the moment Ahmed showed up on the People's Parliament, yeah, I knew it. Good. Ahmed is watching. See, Ahmed, you already have a confirmation of your superstar status now. So everybody will now be saying, I know him too now. I mean, tell me more, Baba. Go on.
You see my number. I will say hi to you. We'll talk after.
You know, I told you
I'm warrior. You know that was the 10. I told you I'm warrior. Inside, we are warriors by background.
God bless you, Baba.
So,
God bless you. I will just say
hi to you.
Yeah, make I tell you one thing before you go.
Yes,
one of the things, in fact, one of the reasons I share experience, in like you're like compared to preparation and when you're determination and when you're support like on need. We just need support, proper one. Get rid of all these all these criminals. Forget anything where you read for people. Forget everything you read online. If we get real support, I mean, I was speaking to some, you know what I mean? But tí see coordinated front, tí see body, to just pé ó máa dàbí àbò lórí gbogbo wa ta fẹ́. Ṣé you get nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òdì ni ẹni tó bá ṣe wọ́n ti débẹ̀ kẹ́nìbọ̀dì tó débẹ̀. Tí èyí sìn tó bá fi ọwọ́ kan ẹnì kankan nínú wa anywhere. Àwọn èèyàn tó débẹ̀ àwọn àti débẹ̀. Ṣé you get that kind approach to máa motivate àwọn èèyàn pé ọmọ ọba ti gbà ní o. Gbogbo yẹn bàbá, you can't do them without real resources. I feel so sorry for some of these groups who have, some of them have good intention.
The way you talk every day, I weep and I cry to my people. I weep and I cry. I man wish that what you are saying, you go for your television station, radio station, you hope people are listening, both in Yoruba and another. But
it is what it is. So don't do me here. I'm not complain, you know, Abi. Meanwhile, we have what it takes. Baba, I need to take, right? I need to take. Yeah, láti lé àwọn ọkọ̀ yìí sígbó ju igbó ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ. A ní. Bọ̀kọ́tà ní ṣé kí n sọ ní pé coordination to máa allow resources wa centralized and coordinated tó yẹ pé ṣe tó bá sọ pé a lọ síbi báyìí nǹkan tó bá sọ pé kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ wù ń bẹ̀ mọ́ kò tún ní ṣẹlẹ̀ wù ń bẹ̀ mọ́ ni ṣé you get like a ti lọ síbi báyìí kò sọ̀rọ̀ pé àti paná ọ̀tẹ̀ yẹn níbí àti lọ ń paná ọ̀tẹ̀ kan níbòmíì ọ̀tẹ̀ yẹn tún ti ń rú níbẹ̀ yẹn kò ní jẹ́rú ẹ̀ ṣé you get ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ní kò àkàn máa ó máa ń dùn mí o kí n má parọ́ because tọ́yìn kan bá sọ fún mi ní January a máa sọ̀rọ̀ no wàhálà ṣé you get me now èmi tí ń wò pé a máa ti bàbá èmi tí ń wò pé by now a ti attract gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tata tó lówó lọ́wọ́ tó níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ tó nífọ̀n tó lè kánná but ẹ̀ ní wà publicly máa support ọ̀rọ̀ kìíní wọ́n á ti support ẹ̀ behind the scene a ti rí nǹkan ṣé you get nǹkan kan ti àtúbọ̀ kò tí mo rí o encourage but again bàbá à sọ̀rọ̀ it is well.
a máa sọ̀rọ̀ torí pé báyé sọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n ṣọ̀rọ̀ àwọn.
mo mọ̀ gbogbo aṣọ Ọ̀dẹ̀kọ́lá máa sá lórí. Nice one, warrior. So I will leave Baba there. I start calling him warrior because he assured me that there are people who want to stand up and do something than just talking. But you're not going to just go out there with a stone and stick and face AK-47 wielding terrorists that have immunity from prosecution and arrest. So you must have something solid and stronger, coordinated. My go goes straight to the point. See, we know that you are talking about. See, if I want to start fight, I know how to start. I can fight for myself. I can I can wreck the whole house down like this. Okay, but that's not my intention. Okay, I'm not worried about fighting anyone or anything. But I just don't want It's not about fighting anybody. It's about all of you reflecting on where we are and where we should be and why we are where we are. I don't know. I beg you. So I think I'm supposed to take one more. There's this caller on here. However, I'm thinking we started late and, so I could possibly just see you some other time. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching this broadcaster tonight. And if you're just joining us, you can also, watch from the beginning if you want to. Wherever it is, I've done my part and I hope I'm going to see you some other time. Wherever you think is right, just do what is right. That's what I do all the time. I don't want to, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be liked. I don't want to be whatever any other thing people are painting in them. I just want something done, something reasonable, something significant, something that we can all get connected to. And I see us being able to do that, but without any kind of, with all this selfish and self-centeredness that I've seen so far. Seriously? I'll stop there as well. So I'll see you some other time. Okay. I actually really want to take this couple. I don't want to as well because of our time. I'll see you some other time. Okay. Thank you. And thank you to all my super chatters, the callers, the sharers, the likers, the commenters. Oh, all of you, the followers. I'll see you some other time. Just do what is right when you have a chance to. Okay. And do not build a life of excuses. It doesn't help anyone. Okay. Whatever temporary excuses gives to you is the same, temporary. Right? I'll see you some other time.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.